question 3 from the notes we started yesterday. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to multiply 3 times 5, and I'm going to get 15. And then I'm going to do 10 to the 8th times 10 to the negative 5th, and I'm going to get 10 to the 3rd. Who can tell me why this is not proper scientific notation? What is wrong with this? What's the rule it's breaking? Noah? Yep, this is double digit. Sad face. So we're going to write ourselves a note. Wait a minute. This is not scientific notation. So of course I have to fix it. So I'm going to put a decimal between the 1 and the 5. But because I put a decimal there, now my loops, I have to add a loop because it has 1 extra space to go around the 5. So how's that going to affect my exponent? Noah? It is going to be times 10 to the 4th. Right? Yeah. Since I added a loop, I had to add to the exponent. So you have to adjust accordingly. If you have to move the decimal, your exponent also would change. Okay, we'll do another example. So I have 6 times 10 to the 4th times 7 times 10 to the negative 2nd power. All right, so I'm going to multiply the 6 times the 7, and I'm going to get 42. And then the 10 to the 4th times 10 to the negative 2nd power is going to give me 10 to the 2nd power. This again is not in scientific notation. So this is going to change to 4.2 times 10 to the what? Third. Great job. Now we're going to move on to dividing scientific notation. Okay, so I'll write out a division problem here. 1.5 times 10 to the negative 8 divided by 6 times 10 to the 7th power. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rewrite as a fraction. All right, so here we go. We're going to isolate these into two separate division problems. So I'm going to draw these little borders around here so that I can focus on the separate division problems. So if I used my calculator, I could find this out pretty quickly, but let's practice doing a division problem without a calculator. So 1.5 divided by 6, because you won't be able to use a calculator on the quiz.
When is the quiz?
It's going to be on Tuesday.
No.
So a week from today. Next Tuesday. Yep. All right, so I'm going to put my decimal point here. 6 goes into 15 how many times? 2. 2 times 6 is 12. Subtract. Bring down the 3. I have to put a 0. 6 goes into 30 how many times? 5. It's a nice little long division for you. So I'm going to get 0.25 times 10 to the what? What's negative 8 minus 7? I'm sorry? Negative 8 minus 7.
Negative 1. No, it's negative 15.
Negative 15.
Yeah. Wait, how is that negative 15?
Because same signs add and keep.
Different signs. Those are different signs. Yeah, they are.
Well, they will. Like if you write down negative 8 minus 7, they'll look like the same sign.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There.
Okay. So then you should see here, oh, this is not in proper scientific notation. So I have to change this to 2.5, which means now I have an extra loop to the left. So what will my exponent be? Negative 16, because I have to go an extra, so I have to then, like, I know it seems strange because I'm adding, but I'm going to a negative, but I have an extra loop to go, so it needs to go 16 loops now instead of 15. So this would be my answer here.
Wait, so why would that not be negative 14?
Because, remember, with these, it tells me how many spaces to the left I'm going, right? So from here, I was going to go 15 places to the left. But since my decimal moved, I have to now go 16 spaces to the left. Yeah. All right. Last example.
You can't see.
Thank you. So what's my first step? Rewrite as a fraction. Isolate both division problems. I'm going to write out my long division. This time I have a decimal on the outside, so I move this to the right here. So that means I have to move this one also, the same number of spaces. How many times does 36 go into 72? 2 times exactly. This is going to be 2 times 10 to the, I'm subtracting, 0. What is anything to the 0 power? 1. So my final answer is 2. Ta-da! Okay, now I'm going to come around. Guys, you need a couple of scratch pieces of paper for today's practice because I want you to write out your work. So I'm going to come around with the practice page here for you. Plus 2? No. No.
What is this?
But you're proving you can learn something. That's cool. That's all.
You have to turn in the papers.
Math is training your brain to learn new things. I don't get to control what it is. I'm just here to entertain you.
Well, we have to
I strawberry.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
Rylan. Wait, we have to.
Do we have to use colors?
Yes.
Wow,
Can we use markers?
I thought you were talking about.
You need a couple. What's that?
Learning check.
No. This is a learning check. That's a value.
I thought you signed up for learning.
Guys, put it up on the counter. I don't want to touch it.
Wait, we need colors. Yeah.
You will, yes. Okay.
This is like a
That's
rat.
a koala.
I don't know what it's supposed to be.
This is definitely a koala.
Okay.
This is obviously a rat.
So let's do a couple of these together. All right. Nope, no calculators. We're going to do a couple of them together. Let's look at number 1 together. So I'm going to, on my paper, write out the problem. 2.4 times 10 to the 4th. And then when you have parentheses right next to each other, what operation is that? Multiplying. 3.7 times 10 to the 5th. So you need to show all the steps for this. So out to the side, I'm going to do 2.4 times 3.7. Who remembers the rules for multiplying with decimals?
It's the same.
You multiply, but you don't, you have to, so I'm going to multiply like normal. 8, carry a 2, 16.
How many numbers are behind the decimal?
Yep. So I'm going to get 8,
You have
8,
Brody.
8. I have 2 digits behind the decimal in the question, so I need 2 digits behind the decimal in my answer. So now I have 8.88 times 10 to the 9th. So that's number 1. We'll do that one together. So what color will you color in number 1? Orange.
Yellow.
Okay. I'm also going to show you problem number 6. You don't have to write it down yet, but I just want to make sure that you guys have seen a division problem done together. 8.8 times 10 to the 7th divided by 2.2 times 10 to the 4th. I'm going to rewrite them as fractions. I set up my division problem, 8.8 divided by 2.2. I have to shift the decimal here, so I have to shift the decimal here. How many times does 22 go into 88?
4 times.
Exactly 4 times. So I'm going to get
really.
4 times 10 to the 3rd power, because 7 minus 4 is 3. Make sure to look out that things are in proper scientific notation and shift the decimal and fix the exponents as needed. So this is what you guys are going to do.
We work with a partner.
No,
Why?
you don't need a partner.
Yeah, I do.
No.
Yeah, I'm not good at this.
I need a partner on the division.